Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the beautiful Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. We'll tell you more about them later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up and we'll get into all sorts of controversies with them, so I hope you'll stay tuned. Lots of great guests, important information coming your way throughout the half hour, so I hope you'll stay with us the entire time. But where we want to start is talking about the problem of hunger in our area, what we can do, all of us, to abate it. We have three very special guests and all three good friends of the show. On my immediate right, Eric Aft, CEO of the Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina, and the Daggett Shuler guys, David Daggett, Griff Shuler from Daggett Shuler Law Firm. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you.
Eric, let me start with you. Remind everyone what the mission of the food bank is, the geographical area you serve, how many people you serve typically.
Sure. We serve the 18 counties of Northwest North Carolina. We're based here in Forsyth County, but proud to serve every single one of those counties to make sure that our partner agency network of over 500 programs have food to assist literally over, right now, over 70,000 individuals a month.
Now, you mentioned the agency, so that gets me to this question. Let's also remind folks that although you do great work, folks just don't walk into the food bank and say, I need some food. That's where the agencies come into play.
That's exactly right. We have a lot of strategies to be creative to get food where people are, but our main one is through our wonderful partner agency network. You know, here in Forsyth County, where we're sitting right now, there's over 90 programs we support, and they range from maybe 10 programs in some counties to over 100 in Guilford County.
Right. All right. Now, I talked about in a typical year how many people you serve, but I know you and I've talked privately before about the fact that the numbers are increasing, the need is increasing. Why is that?
It's a great concern to us right now. We've seen, if you look at October last year compared with October this year, we saw 27,000 more unduplicated individuals access services. Those are kids, seniors, adults who needed to turn to our programs to be able to put food on the table. Why? It's complex. We've seen decrease in government benefits, but inflation is hitting us all, especially rent prices for low resource families, as well as childcare access. A lot of families aren't finding affordable childcare, so they can't go back to work because it is just simply too expensive. But also when you're facing rent increases of $200, $400, $600, that was your food budget.
So it's all piling up on them. David, exactly. How long have you and Griff and your team been involved with community food drives, for example?
Forever. It's part of our culture and it's part of what we do. And every time, by the way, I admire Eric and what you and your organization do. I'm kind of in awe of you personally. But every time I hear you give those numbers and talk about our community, I mean, I'm almost coming to tears when he's talking about it, because this issue is so important. And those of us that are so fortunate need to continue to spread that message about the people who are not so fortunate in our community, so we can come together and help them.
But Griff, I know that you and David and your team are active in so many different things that you could give time to, money to, whatever. Why are you so high on the food bank?
Well, one of the things is their longevity. They've been around for so long and doing such good work in our community. I think also, I remember the first time I really understood what Second Harvest Food Bank does. I think the way that they go about things where, first of all, they're trying to eliminate waste. So, you know, about half of the food that's produced in America goes to waste. So the concept of the food bank of trying to eliminate that waste, bring the food that's out there into food bank and then get it out to the people that need it the most.
Right.
I just think the whole concept, it sounds straightforward, but it's so important.
Yeah, the distribution network, and we'll get into that too. We're going to continue our conversation in a minute, but I want to put up on screen a couple things. Second Harvest NWNC, which stands for Northwest North Carolina, Second Harvest NWNC.org. Please check that out and support the food bank. And also, if you need the services of Daggett Shuler, you can go to daggettshulerlaw.com or call 724-1234. As we continue our discussion from a few minutes ago about the hunger problem in our area, Eric Aft is here, so are David Daggett and Griff Shuler. Eric, let me come back to you. Earlier, we talked about the growing problem of food insecurity. What kinds of things are you doing to meet those needs?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways. Again, we try to be creative and innovative in reaching our neighbors who are facing challenges. So we started a mobile pantry that's going out every single day to different areas of the region, kind of in food deserts, so we can get food out that way. We also have a mobile nutrition unit that goes out in looking at providing people fresh produce and understanding how to use that. But also we've expanded our community meals work for healthy meals, working more closely with farmers, again, getting healthier food into our programming so we can get it out to those in need.
Well, when you talk about healthier food and produce, that reminds me that you and I've talked about before about this new facility you have, which gives you some extra room to handle those kind of items. So tell me how that new facility is impacting your ability to serve the mission.
Well, there's a host of things. It has been an invaluable tool in our battle against food insecurity, but also around the root causes. So we've been able to enhance our culinary training program. We've been able to expand that to include barista training. And soon in the spring, we'll be starting our logistics training in collaboration with our good partners at Foresight Tech and Goodwill. And there's a whole host of things around nutrition and also our food distribution work that's happening. Again, the new facility is a critical tool. It's just a building. It's how we use it to make a difference is the key.
It's sad that we have to use it, but you have to have it for the distribution, as David was talking about, and Griff as well. David, let me turn to you. I know that you and Griff and you've been on the show so many times before, we talked about all the great things you guys do in the community, like the backpack program, which helps kids get ready to learn. But that goes hand in hand with, hey, if you're going to learn, you got to have some food in your belly too. In general, how do you, in your support for students, how does that kind of community support help the students now and also when they get grown?
It's interesting. Eric used what has become a term of art for some of us, food desert.
Right.
And I think it's interesting for people to understand what that really means. We have pockets in our community where kids don't have either enough food or good food. They don't have a grocery store within a reasonable distance. And so what happens is poor eating habits develop, insufficient eating habits develop, and that affects the generation to come. I mean, they're going to be us one day.
Right.
And if we don't look after them today, our future is jeopardized, and we need to look after it today. Proper nutrition is such an important developmental factor for young people. In the food desert, which we throw out as a term of art, I hear that word and I get a vision in my brain of an underprivileged kid eating junk food and not having enough food. And
Right.
we need to develop them so they can be healthy, productive adults.
Absolutely. Griff, I'm wondering what your advice is to businesses and why they should support Food Bank, because we mentioned earlier how you and David are active in community food drives. Why should businesses get involved?
I think it takes the whole community to get behind efforts like the Second Harvest Food Bank to really tackle poverty and help the people that need it the most in the community. If as businesses, if you can't do that in addition to, quote, making money, then I think you're thinking through your business in the wrong way.
Speaking of money, I think you have something you want to give to
Yeah,
Eric.
well, in addition, we have a food drive going on at our office right now. The pickup is this Friday. It's been a tradition in our office. We also have a check here to give Eric.
That's
All
fantastic.
right, way to go.
spot.
Good job. Good job. Yeah.
And personally, from Griff and me, we talk about you behind your back in glowing superlatives.
A lot of people do.
In glowing superlatives. And we appreciate what you do because it's making incremental, consistent, positive differences in our community.
Absolutely.
Appreciate what
Absolutely.
you
Good
do.
job. Up on screen, let's go to this one more time. Second Harvest, NWNC.org and DaggettShuler.com, 724-1234. Guys, thanks all three of you for what you do.
you.
Special
Thank
thanks
you.
to Eric. We'll be right back after this.